All right. So what we got? So I want to make sure I got the time right now. So what's up, Conscious Going Gardeners and YouTubers? Those that are watching, right, checking in, right. This is the Conscious Going Gardener channel. I am your boy, uh, the Garden Guru, and as you can see, I am in my inside greenhouse, right, working on my plants, right, because we actually got a snowstorm outside, right. These plants that are in here are hot climate plants, and they wouldn't be outside anyway because they need a certain temperature in order to be able to survive. Okay, they're hot, they're warmer climate plants, not colder climate plants. And so, with that being said, um, they need some tending to, and that's what I'm doing. I'm tending to these each one of these that need to be taken care of. Um, it's important not to overwater certain plants. Like tomatoes, they do not like they roots wet, so I try to avoid them and not oversaturate them with water. I like to let them suffer and dry out a little bit. They actually do better when you do that. Uh, Squash family, cucumbers and things of that nature, lettuce and things of that. They are heavy feeders. They like a lot of water, so you can go ahead and heavy dose them down. Right, that's a good thing for them. And so it's sometimes looking at all these plants at one time. It's all about knowing which plant is which. You know what I'm saying? Understand it. So that's how you understand which plant needs what, because you have to know how the plants look and what they need. So you can give them the direct energy that they need, right, or the care that they need in order to get the most out of the plant. Okay, and every day we sacrificing, man. We making a sacrifice here, a sacrifice there, right? We trying to figure out what's the best way to do something, right? Uh, how to deal with people and certain subjects, right? And you try not to offend anybody, right? This is such a sensitive time that we living in, right? That you never know where somebody coming from and where what I'm saying, until you sit and listen to their dialect, right? And that sometimes can be hard for people, especially if you saying something that might affect how they feel based upon whether it be their politics or whether it be how they eat, right, or their relationship values, right. And so that stuff sometimes break people down. So we really want to get into today. We really want to get into a small, quick subject because it's not going to be a long video at all. They won't let me do long videos on YouTube anyway. So you guys gonna have to make sure you come over to the Conscious Growing Garden channel on Facebook, where I got a few thousand people that subscribe to that channel over there, and I really go in over there as much as I can, as they allow me to, right? Uh, since they don't have any more fact checkers, I kind of get away with certain things, right? But YouTube, you got to be kind of keep it clean. They really, really whatever, right? But it's funny how I'm paying attention to the world outside of my home, right? And Mother Earth, like I say all the time, Mother Earth knows when winter comes. She knows the season. She controls the seasons, right? But you have to always ask yourself, no matter who you think is in control, like you think Mother Earth in control, you think Father Time is in control, you think you are free and you can control your own life, but it's always some force or some entity or some being or some party or some pilot trick or some somebody that's creating an environment around what you think you controlling, and you think you don't even realize you ain't in control as much as you think you are. And with that being said, what I'm saying, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you. You got to pay attention to what people want you to believe, right? What they telling you, what they, what I'm saying. I tell people all the time the reason why people can believe a lie is because people start off telling the truth. People, what I'm saying. We live according to other people's truths. You know what I'm saying? Other people's stories, right? It ain't never really history like we think it is. Some people like that. I love history, but a lot of times it don't be history. It be his story. You know what I'm saying? And so we fall for it. We want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? We can't think. We don't want to think no other way. And it might be somebody might be covering up or deceiving our thought process about what we think about. Right? We just want to always take everything at face value. Right? And sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you got to go deeper and do your own research on things so you will know exactly what's going on. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to anything, right? If I tell you, how to grow your plants on this channel, right? You still need to go by you might be able to take my word for it, but you also can go and do your own research, right. You can also do your own research. You can also go behind me and go look up other gardeners, right, other people that garden, other people that do YouTube, right, that talk about different plants and stuff, and you can get different people's opinion, right. And so I tell people all the time, that's a part of researching, right? Like when you get more than one person saying the same thing, right? And then you decide to go one way or the other, and you try. It's called trial and error. Sometimes when you're growing, right, to figure out what you need in order to grow and to be successful in that area, right? That's the same thing in life. Same thing in every area of your life, right? You people kill me not wanting to hear the other side of the story. I don't care what your political background is, what you believe, what your religion state is, right? What your skin color is, right? Um, how you was raised to believe this or believe that, right? It's okay to listen to the opposition, right? Somebody else saying something opposite of what you believe. Sometimes you might learn something by listening to somebody else saying something else about what you already think you already know, right? It's called researching, right? And if we would stop getting so quickly to be distance and have a cognitive distancing towards people saying stuff to us that might be interceding things in our mind that we may have not thought that way about certain situations, right? Then maybe when stuff come up, right, we wouldn't be you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be so quick to drop the ball or miss the mark, or let somebody deceive us over it, right? Because we know when somebody tell us something, right? It's always two sides, or maybe sometimes three sides to that story, right? I mean, I don't care if it's personal, if even in science, right? There's scientists that say one thing, and then there's some scientists that say another thing. There's doctors that say one thing, and then there's doctors that say another thing, right? But what they'll do is, when they want you to believe only one doctor or one scientist, right? They'll silence anybody else, right? They'll silence anybody else, right? We in Congress is in session now, and all they talking about is people censoring each other, right? Because of their political beliefs or political background. That's not politics, dude. That's politics. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna silence one group of the people? It's bad enough. It's bad enough we be lied to by politicians as it is now, right? In my opinion, on both parties that have lied to us, right? And then now you want to silence one party because you think you right, and then watch this. I got actually people that I know personally that's actually believing this crap, and I'm like, man, I'm like, you don't you understand? It's two sides, sometimes three sides to every story. Like, even if you feel some type of way, right, about somebody else, right, and what they did, right, they got their part to the story that they feelings about the situation, right. So eventually, if you got a true friendship or a true relationship with that person, if whatever they feel about the situation, you're gonna have to sit and listen and talk to them about whatever it is, right, so you can get it worked out between you and them, right. Same thing, same thing in every area of your life, right. Whether I'm talking about gardening and you know something different than I know, right, about growing certain things, right, or if we're talking about homeschooling, or we talking about the public school system, or politics, right, or are we talking about different politicians, are we talking about if we're talking about whatever subject that might bring forth light to life, right? You need to understand that all the time those subjects don't always have one label to it, right? And you have to be, and it's another thing, we have to be careful. We have to be careful with labels, right? Now, when I put a plant up here, right, it's good to have a label up on it so you will know that that's the plant that's particularly being grown in it, right? But we got so caught up in labels that we think labels mean everything, right? You don't want to vote for nobody if they don't have the right label that you like, right? Some of y'all watch commercials and see politicians, and no matter what they commercial is, if they don't say at the bottom of that label you like to hear when you vote, then you ain't thinking about voting for them, right? Some of y'all go to the grocery stores and y'all go look for certain things, right? Or go to the shopping malls, right, and pick up different things. If it don't got the jump man on it, the Jordan emblem, or it don't got the Nike swish on it, right, then we don't really want the stuff, right? We don't want it because we so tied into labels, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, having something with a label on it that's bona fide, that's good quality, right? That label has a name, and it's a product that that you can count on, and it's for sure gonna come through every time. It's an excellent thing, right? But then when people figure that out, when people that sell things, that sell merchandise, that sell whatever, right? They figure that's how people are, then they take advantage of that type of thing, right? And that's how somebody can be the best piece of shop like 5 years in a row, and then after they get their name out, then they start watering down the sauce, right? They start bringing in GMO groceries if it's cheap or whatever, right? Cutting corners, right? So a lot of times what you think is something might not be what it is in the end. You know what I'm saying? So we as people, we got to understand that we can't always get into this little distance, the cognitive distancing in our head. Like when somebody say something to us and it ain't what we used to, then we start drawing away from that person or from what they're saying, because you got to remember there are 2 to 3 sides to every story. Every story. So there ain't no one way, right, of anything, right? My grandmother used to always say to me all the time, it's always more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to allow ourselves to wake up to people using that brand that story that run that line on us, right, to get what they want out of us, right? And it's funny. I'm sorry for skipping over y'all because I'm a little stressed about certain things. It's funny that now that we got snow outside, I'm gonna show you guys. Now that we got a lot of snow out there, see the snow out there, and I can't get to the garden, right? I actually had some plants that I had some seeds, excuse me, not some plants, but it's a few plants. Yeah, it's a few. I had a few plants and some seeds that I had put outside, right? So it had started hailing yesterday. So I ran outside and I got the plastic and I covered up the seeds and I got the plastic and covered up the plants, right? And then those are all the cold climate plants, those that can handle the colder weather. But it's April 19th, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't think it would be snowing anytime soon, you know what I'm saying? But this is what happens when, you know what I'm saying, when you think it's spring and the weather and winter's over, and then they hit you with a storm, right? And I keep telling people all the time, you know what I'm saying? Different storms mean different things, right? Mother Nature knows what she's doing, right? But just like the knowledge of Mother Nature, you know what I'm saying, and just like the knowledge of ourselves, right, of mankind, right, of we the people, can be manipulated. It's in my opinion, right, that I believe in some form or fashion, um, other things in the world besides a man's mind can be manipulated, right? And you never know who's doing that manipulation, right? You might know why they doing it, right? You might not be able to say, you might not be able to say, uh, indirectly or directly that they're, you might be able to say it indirectly, but you might not be able to say directly that they're doing it. But if you got a feeling, you got a feeling in your gut, you gotta look around and see, like, man, that's just weird, right? Like, because everybody knows that even if you live in a cold climate place in America, April 14th is the cutoff day where you can start, planting seeds in the ground. So, and when we dealing with food shortages and all of the inflation of prices of food and stuff like that, there are more and more people gardening now than ever before, right? Than ever before. If you don't know that, that's the truth. That's exactly what's going on. And right when people, got to this position of putting their plants in the ground and whatever they're doing, right, which would be April 14th, which was just a couple days ago, right? And all of a sudden, 5 days later, you know what I'm saying? Well, 4 days. First, it was 4 days later with the hail. The hail is nothing but the frozen ice, which one itself will kill your plants, right? And now we got um now we got the snow. I woke up this morning and it was snowing out there. So so you know everything work out for work out the way it's supposed to work out. We got most of our plants, which are mostly hot climate plants, are still in the house, right? We got the seeds covered up, so hopefully, after this last snowfall, they'll start to germinate, and we won't have to deal with any more snowfall this year, until to the later on this year, till winter starts up again, and we'll be able to get out there and do some big things in the yard, right? Uh, Guys, excuse me for my video. I'm a little mumbly today. I'm a little frustrated with the weather and just some personal stuff. So, but I really wanted to come on here and shoot another video today because the Conscious Growing Gardeners are um, agricultural scientists who like to share not only our work but and our efforts that we put in, but we also like to share our opinions about what's going on in this country concerning we the people, right? Um, I know sometimes we get we look at certain things from a melanated standpoint, colorism, or religion, or where you was raised and where you was brought up, right? But sometimes things hit us and it affect us all, right? And especially when we talk about dealing with people who don't have our best interests at heart, right? Right? When you ain't pumping gas, you ain't paying for gas. You don't care if the gas prices are high. When you rich and you got millions of dollars, that you just allegedly swindled away from we the people. You don't care if the inflation is through the roof and food shortages, right? If you in the position of authority, right? you gonna always, if don't nobody got food, you gonna have it, right? And so I believe there's gonna come a time where only those that are growing, right, will be eating, right? And so be very careful and be very mindful of the things that I'm saying. Not because I'm some kind of genius, but because I feel as though our country is taking a turn for its worse financially and uh, economically, right? When it comes to being honest, right? We got too many these two parties, both alike, are too busy fighting amongst each other. Uh, Shout out to my senator uh, here in from Ohio, right? He stands up uh, for this country. He stands up for the people. I'm constantly watching him, and I'm glad that he's in representing us for Ohio, and he's going after this administration with the full force of his voice and of his uh, understanding of what's going on in this country. With them ignoring, and especially with them ignoring what's going on, like everything's all good, right? And it's funny how if you talk the impeachment of one president and you continue to try to do that and it doesn't work, right? Uh, you have to ask yourself a question: were they doing that to disavow the fact that the person that's the president now is the one who really need to be impeached? And now that you can talk all this impeached, and you done watered it down and over talked it and kept on and brought the subject up, more than once, that the next time the next administration in there, you can't say it again. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very careful. Like I said, a lot of people are really cunning. They're really cunning. You know what I'm saying? They're not for we the people at all. And I tell people all the time, you gotta watch these elitist people, right? That think that they above the law, right? That they got these people with diplomatic immunity. You got people don't mind breaking the law. They know they're gonna go to jail, right? Rapists, murderers, pedophiles, right? You got all kind of people doing that kind of shit, right? What you think? What you think the people who think they got diplomatic immunity would do, right? It take a real person of honor and character to do what's right in the face of being able to get away with doing something wrong, right? And still have to do the right thing. It takes somebody that's really got really a lot of morals and been raised right and understand and righteousness to do the right thing when nobody's looking. When nobody's looking, right? So when you think nobody's looking, you usually become and turn into the person that you truly are. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, in this country, we got people who think they above the law. They make the laws. They above the law, and it's nothing for them, in my opinion, to break those laws, right? To not take care of home first, right? To not take care of the household that they need, which is America, but you know, crying out and want us to support other countries, which I have no problem supporting other people, but you got to first have your own stuff together before you reach out across the aisle to help somebody else, right? You can't be broke, busted, disgusted. Your people can't be trying to worry about paying bills and gas and run out of money from check to check, and you sending $80 million to another country. It's just unfortunate that we don't have standards in this country that where certain people who are making the laws should be punished and put on display for breaking those laws, because you should be held to a higher standard if you break the law, in my opinion, if you call yourself being a leader. All right, YouTube and my Conscious Growing Gardener family, right? If you come across this channel and you like some of the content, some of the videos on here, think about subscribing to the channel. We would really appreciate it, right? It doesn't really cost you anything. Just hit the subscribe button below this video, right? And if you want to be notified when I upload the videos, right, hit that bell for notifications, because I'm not going live as well on YouTube yet. I'm a small channel, and so we're gonna continue to get out there in this yard, right, out in my garden, out in my greenhouse, in the house, and one outside once the weather breaks, right, and we'll continue to grow Not just in the garden, y'all. In every area of our life, we're gonna talk about different subjects, right? That affect us, right? We love one of our subjects that we love to talk about is the P's, right? So we'll talk about politicians, we'll talk about politics, we'll talk about the public school system, right? Sometimes we talk about preachers and priests, right? We talk about prisons, right? And how we disproportionately, get locked away as melanated people. We talk about we the people, you know what I'm saying? We talk about the policies that are being ran and the way they're being ran in our country, right? The politics, right? Of course, we talk about plant life. You know what I'm saying? How to grow them, how to prune them, how to keep them from the insects and the animals, right? How to get the most out of your plants, right? How to water them, how to feed them when they need nurturing, right? Whatever they might need as far as fertilizers, right? We talk about all those things. Um, a plethora of subjects that we have that we try to keep up with. Sometimes we talk about parent life, right? We talk about people in general, right? That we see um, public figures. We bring them up sometimes. We don't like to focus on them too much, but they always got the camera on them and showing us a different way. And I think sometimes they use them as a distraction or something just that we can talk about amongst our people instead of focusing on what's really going on in the country. So we sometimes bring it up so that we can use it uh, as a teachable moment. Okay. All right, Conscious Growing Gardener channel family, right? And those that have not subscribed, like I said, think about subscribing to the channel. It's just a matter of just hitting that button, right? And we'll continue to send those videos out for you guys, right? We'll continue to show you how to grow, not just in the garden, but we'll try to grow together, right? In every area of our lives, all right? All right. Peace.